Bungie. What do you got for us? All right, looks like we're starting with the...
Light and shadow is silence.
Ooh, okay. Okay, so this...
Silence breaks. I am summoning you as a new age begins.
Gonna turn up just a little bit.
I see sapient life turn to each other. They remember how to look to the stars. They remember curiosity. They remember how to thrive. But they have forgotten. They forgot we were here long before the Traveler.
Okay.
They forgot that they need us. But they are fated to remember. I will remind them. I'm sure you will. But not through me.
Whoa.
Find someone else.
Whoa, what the... Okay, that's interesting. Okay, I was not expecting that.
My will is my own.
Okay, what the fuck? That's new. Okay, official... Oh, no official release date yet.
All right, everyone, hello and welcome here to Bungie HQ in beautiful Bellevue, Washington. We have got an amazing stream lined up for you to tell you a little bit about the Edge of Fate and the future of Destiny 2 as well. My name's Andy. I work on the social media team here, but no need to worry. As always, I am joined by some of my amazing colleagues here at Bungie to share some of the finer details of the stuff that we're going to be getting into today. So, how about we go ahead and get into it so we can show you what we got. Starting first with this gentleman on my right and to your left is someone that you've probably seen if you've tuned into our streams before or Vidocs, the one and only Mr. Robbie Stevens, Assistant Game Director here at Bungie. How you doing?
I'm doing great, Andy. It's always a pleasure to spend a day with you.
Yeah, it's been a nice time, honestly.
I gotta say, so far, just from that teaser trailer, that's very interesting. Like, the 9... First of all, the voice was different. Like, whoever that individual the 9 was talking to was different from who... Like, and the fact she, like, shed, like, her essence, that I was not expecting. Like, very interesting.
For the game and just incredibly
love all the different gear. I see the Whisper of the Worm in the background there. That's awesome.
Thank you for being here.
Yeah, of course.
And of course, as we move, pardon me, right on down the line, someone who again has also had the good opportunity to join us on these streams as well, and is now firing some finger guns like a pro. Destiny's narrative director, the one and only Allison Lures. Allison,
hello.
How's it going?
It's going so good. I'm here on a couch and I get to yell about Destiny with you. It's a good day.
Yeah, honestly, I'll take that anytime I can. Well,
Same.
For anyone who also hasn't had a chance to yell on couches about Destiny with us or hasn't joined us in the past, do you mind telling us a little bit about yourself?
Sure. So my name is Allison. I'm the narrative director for Destiny 2, and so that means it's the job of me and my team to make you laugh and make you cry and make you go, whoa, I totally forgot about this thing from 8 years ago. How did they remember? It's because we're good at our jobs.
It's true,
so
yeah. As someone who gets to sit in on the writers' room.
I will admit, they are pretty good with
so
continuity when it comes to stories telling
and of course,
sometimes.
as we move right on down the line, the gentleman there at the very end of the couch, someone who is a friend to all Guardian kind, who's known far and wide, a member of the Destiny Global Comms team here at Bungie, Mr. Dylan Gaffner. How's it going, Dylan?
It's going well. How are you, Andy?
I'm doing so well. Thank you so much.
And the fact that, one thing I am curious, when he was talking at the very beginning, the fact the future of Destiny. You know, we got, obviously, Edge of Fate. Are they potentially talking about next year as well or something? That's going to be crazy if they do.
A community team where we would go out, collect your feedback, translate it to the dev team, and then bring their information back to you, kind of be that middleman. Now I'm on Global Comms, so I'm going to be in more of like a puzzle piece organization stage of what do we talk about, when do we talk about it, why do we talk about it, and then just making sure we get the information out to all players.
Yeah, well, we all appreciate it. Thank you for always being the voice of the player inside our hallowed halls. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right, well, now that we've kind of got the intros out of the way, let's talk about our new saga. Robbie, I'd love to start with you. What's up next in Destiny, and where are we exploring?
Yeah, so our first expansion this year, The Edge of Fate, is the start of a brand new multi-year saga called the Fate Saga.
Multi-year
So we wanna
saga.
tell a story
Okay.
about something older, about the nature of fate itself. Are we bound by it? Can we fight it? Because before the Traveler ever arrived in our solar system, there was already space magic here, Andy.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so
Okay.
ultimately, this is a story that we're going to explore one of Destiny's biggest mysteries and the foundations of the universe itself.
You're talking about the 9, aren't you?
Who
Yeah.
told you?
I think it's
Subtle,
How did
I
you
know.
know?
Yeah, that's a bit
We
apparent.
did
Yeah.
such a good job with this secret.
Really buried that lead, didn't we?
Huh.
Just a little bit.
That's, but
That's-
I mean, to that
okay.
end, so who, and maybe more appropriately, what are the 9?
Yeah, so buckle up. In the simplest description possible, the 9 are extraordinarily powerful beings that have been in the solar system for way, 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 way longer than the Traveler. We can think of them as being kind of connected to each of the major celestial bodies in Sol. So that's each of our 8 planets plus the Sun. Sorry, Pluto.
It's messed up.
Didn't make the cut.
All right, fair.
I don't make the rules.
Interesting.
Yeah, there you go. But the important thing to know about them is that this is why we're going to be so focused on the solar system for the next saga. We want to ask questions about our home that we've never asked before.
Yeah. So when it comes to the 9, obviously, Eagle-Eyed Guardians have been able to spot references to them for quite some time, whether it be outright ominous or a straight-up game show in some cases. Can you tell us a little bit maybe about what we should expect from them?
Expect to be surprised. We're, like you said, the lore of the
Okay.
9 really ranges from like Star Horse infinitely neighing to the 9 doing genuinely awful, awful things in our lore.
Yeah,
and so the important
that's-
thing to know about them is that the 9 are individuals. This isn't a collective. It's not like a hive mind. Each of them are kind of their own being, their own person in the loose definition of a person. They have different wants and desires. They can ally with different members and fight with different members too. In the words of one of our characters really early on, there are aliens, and then there's aliens, and then there are aliens, and that latter one is what the 9 are qualified as.
Fair enough. All right, so beings of
Yeah,
obviously immense
fair.
power, or something that the Guardians have gone toe-to-toe with in the past. We've even faced off against the very embodiment of the darkness itself.
Yeah.
What could be tougher than that?
Yeah, so this is something that we think about a lot about, because ultimately the 9 seek to free themselves at no matter the cost to humanity. And because they're extra dimensional in the ways that Allison are describing, they're not bound by the same rules that we are, that we've really experienced before in the game today. And so humanity and the Guardians, to many of them, are ultimately just bugs that can be squashed on, that they don't really care or think about beyond, achieving their ultimate goals. So.
Yeah, I mean, like, for the last 10 years, Guardians have really just been making their own fate.
Yeah.
I mean, so the 9 is challenging that. How are we going to deal with it?
Yeah, whether we like it or not,
Yeah.
the 9 have a plan for us. And like you said, Guardians are really good at making their own fate and going out and deciding who they want to be. But what happens when them deciding to make our own fate is exactly what our fate is? Like, what if that was the plan all along? These are extra-dimensional beings. That means they perceive our reality in a very different way and can interact with it in a very different way.
It's like they're a move ahead in chess.
Weird.
But you were mentioning
Very good
obviously, the
callback.
Fate Saga is one of the subjects of today. How long can we expect the Fate Saga to last?
Yeah, so the Fate Saga is going to play out over several years, and ultimately, we know where we're driving this car. We know where we're going
Several.
with it.
So not
the
just
conclusion
this
of
year.
the
So
Edge of
this
Fate
story
itself
they're playing on
is gonna
for
leave
years to
you with
come.
more questions than answers, and it's going to be the catalyst into this new multi-year saga. Because we really want to return Destiny to being a game about big questions, right? And so the way we
Okay,
think about this is
that's
about
fair.
pouring jet fuel into the speculation engine of the game. So we're going to be revealing a lot of ideas, a lot of concepts, and many of them we're not going to be answering immediately, because we're going to be telling the story over multiple expansions, and we're going to be giving you those expansion beats more times than we have before in the past. And so the Year of Prophecy kicks off with the Fate Saga, and with it, humanity is now set on a collision course with this celestial pantheon.
Okay, Edge of Fate
the system
launches
that has been
July
been here for a
15th.
very,
Official
very
release
long
date. So we
time.
get a
So
whole.
The Edge of Fate launches on July 15th. And then the second expansion of our Year of Prophecy is Renegade, which comes this winter. And then
Renegades.
later in 2026, we've got Shattered Cycle and The Alchemist. it's a lot
Shattered
of,
Cycle.
a
Wow,
lot of exciting things.
2026. So
again,
they're
the
really.
is just the beginning of this long
Wow.
journey
Okay, so
of
they literally
this
got the
awesome
next
vehicle
2
we're all
years
jumping into
all
and driving
planned
together, and
out.
it's
That's
gonna take us
actually
to many
insane.
places.
That's really cool.
So, with
But so
regards to
it
the
looks like they
Edge
did
of Fate right
changes.
here in
So
front
instead
of
of Frontiers
us,
and
you were also
Behemoth,
mentioning
so
briefly
look,
with
I guess
Laz,
those were
something
just
today. Got some
placeholder names.
gameplay with
Potentially.
Yeah, we got
Who
some
knows?
clips.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we should show
Yeah.
those off.
It's a doozy.
Let's check it
I
out.
like the present. Let's check it out.
Wait, so what were they talking about? Eclipse? What the? Okay, random bus.
Observe, connect, conceal. Guardian, I had a vision. Conform, comply, return. They just wanted to show us disasters.
Who's talking, I wonder?
Conceal. I'm not human anymore.
What the
Return.
fuck?
Conform, comply. No one else should know what this feels like.
Do we have a new enemy type, or is that like new Fallen? It looks Fallen or Elixni-esque, potentially. Yep, new Elixni, looks like. Ooh, I love the gear. The gear looks sick.
Terminate your suspicion.
Wait, that went... Did that go from Arc to Stasis? That's cool. Ah, No Land Beyond! There it is! What is that? Is that like a... we're getting new light powers again. Not complaining, but come on. Give us new darkness powers. The unknown becomes... Who the heck is that? Okay, that's creepy.
All right, that gives us an awful lot to go ahead and continue to dive into. And here to help us go ahead and explore a little bit more of it, everyone, you probably noticed we've been joined by someone new here on the couch. We are privileged to be joined by someone who's the originator of perhaps my favorite all-time Destiny emote, the one and only Dave Samuel, art director here at Bungie. Dave, how's it going, man?
It's going great. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. For anyone who maybe for some reason somehow doesn't have that emote in their collection or hasn't seen you at a past ViDoc, do you mind telling us a little bit about what you do here at Bungie?
Yeah, I'm art director on Edge of Fate. I work with the art team to visualize the narrative and design and kind of bring it all together.
It's a lot to bring together. Thank you very much for being here today. Yeah. So with the Edge of Fate, it's obviously the first expansion in the Fate saga. Allison, I'd love to start with you, actually. What can you tell us about the Edge of Fate?
The Edge of Fate begins with an invitation, and we are invited, along with a very specific group of people, to a location, to a moment in time, for a very specific reason.
Very specific purpose.
Very specific.
Interesting.
Purpose, yes. And the place that we're going to is called Kepler. And so you may be saying, now, Allison, hold on. Hold your horses.
Yeah,
for
Kepler.
seconds, because the Kepler I know is the one that's way outside of our galaxy. What do you mean we're going to Kepler? And I say, like, dear friend, didn't you know if you look inside in Destiny's universe, the Oort cloud at the edge of the solar system, you'll find a little planetoid that also happens to be named Kepler here in the world of Destiny. And that's where we're going, to Kepler.
Looks beautiful, I'll tell you that
Robbie, we were
much.
talking kind of before the show. This is like like a first taste of something new, right?
Yeah, so what you're seeing here is us just trying something new. We're expanding the universe of Destiny, creating new mysteries to uncover. This whole destination is about exploring a labyrinthian world that took inspirations from things like Dreaming City, exotic missions, dungeons, and it's wrapping it all through a Metroidvania expired experience. And so at the heart of all of this, at the heart of the Edge of Fate, is a player-driven exploration and discovery of an exotic world with brand new abilities.
So actually to even just maybe dig a little bit deeper, like how is the Edge of Fate going to be different from past expansions that we've made for Destiny?
Yeah, so at the global scale, when we're thinking about expansions in the Year of Prophecy and the formula of Destiny expansions going forward, first off, we're doing 2 expansions a year instead of just 1. And think of each of these expansions as a little bigger than something like a Rise of Iron from D1. And so both of these expansions combined are going to be even more expansion content than we've done in the past.
Oh,
And
wow, okay,
by delivering
gameplay.
2 of these a year,
Okay.
we're upping the pace of major world and story
So,
events
yeah,
that
new
really matter to
Elixni.
players and are going to be pushing the Fate saga forward.
Corsair,
And so,
okay.
we're trying radical new things, which each of these expansions. And so alongside this new destination of Kepler, this exotic world that players players will explore with brand new abilities, we also have world tiers. And world tiers allow you to take on a higher level of challenge on the destination in order to extract some of the best loot within the release. But what's cool about world tiers is as you play through the mainline story and you play through the first couple of world tiers, you're going to unlock later world tiers. And as you're claiming these abilities, as you're exploring the world more, as you're discovering more within the release, you're putting these puzzle pieces together and you're figuring out how to solve all the mysteries on Kepler with different ways. And so you might play a puzzle in one way, a mission in one way, and when you're in these higher world tiers in the post game, you can start to solve these problems in different ways that you couldn't before in the original playthrough. And so alongside all of this, we're also going to have a ton of quest content that we're rethinking about how we use within the game. And so on Kepler, there's some non-linearity within the destination itself. And so with a lot of our side quest content that is related to the critical path, but you don't have to play it. It's there for you to explore. It's driven by your discovery of the world. You're out in the field, you discover something and you pick it up, and that's going to help you explore the characters in the world of Kepler more and go deeper on that story. And so, yeah, again, this is all about us just looking at the formulas that we've been building in Destiny over the last 10 years. And some of them are really strong, but they're due for some experimentation.
Yeah,
and some
right there, they were going
changes. So
under the
that's
map,
what
it
you're
looked
seeing
like.
here
Like,
with
what the
first
hell?
taste of the Edge of Fate.
Very cool.
Yeah.
I love everything you just said. I was a little distracted by some of the gameplay we were showing, like exotic sniper rifle, I think I saw, kind of recognize that.
Oh, yeah.
Some enemies with a couple really cool twists, like, okay.
Mm-hmm.
But then also there was a Guardian that turned into like a lightning ball. Yeah.
Yeah. So, so there's multiple new abilities that your players are going to be able to discover on Kepler that's going to make them navigate and look at the world in different ways. But the one you're talking about, Dylan, we see it as our premier ability, the crown jewel of the release, and that's called Matter Spark. And Dave has joined us, and he's helps us take the vision of the narrative and the design and the art
Matter
and squish it
Spark.
together in amazing
Interesting.
experiences. And so I think Dave should talk to us more about Matter Spark.
Please.
Yeah. So there's this new source of energy on Kepler, this strange dark matter. So the Guardian binds itself to the dark matter using the arc powers within. You can think of the dark matter as like a medium, and the arc as this catalyst that will allow you to completely change form. Transforming into Matter Spark lets you squeeze into tight areas, race around areas, jump over stuff, and it also allows you to turn into this basically electric rolling ball of death, jolting and shocking enemies.
That's
that come
interesting.
across your path.
So obviously, one big part movement, one big part combat, but I mean, even just in addition to that, to look a little bit, wider, like how did the Matter Spark Ball kind of influence the world that we're going to be inhabiting?
Yeah, the team really had to rethink what it means to build a destination with these abilities in mind. A simple
Interesting.
hill
I don't know
becomes a
how I feel
ramp
about
to get
that
to a new
just yet,
space.
but I guess we'll
A
see.
crack in the wall, it basically will reveal a whole new area to explore. It's also a new way to engage with enemies. Instead of taking a bunch of enemies head on, you can find a Matter Spark pad, transform, turn into this electric ball of death, and then just start racing around the arena, dash over their heads, and flank from behind, and then really give the House of Exile on Kepler a bad day.
As well, we should. It's a good day for us.
Very
as well.
interesting,
so what are
but
some of the other Kepler abilities that we'll be able to unlock while we're out there as well?
Yeah, so each of these Kepler abilities are a mix of dark matter and our Guardian's powers. So we have the Relocator Cannon, which is this new fallen dark matter tech mixed with void. This is going to allow you to bypass laser walls, use these cascading relay networks, and just basically teleport around the world. Another ability that we have is Matter Morph. This is dark matter mixed with strand, allows you to manipulate the environment. You'll be able to basically push and morph and move geometry to create bridges, open up doorways, and then also reveal secrets and new opportunities.
Yeah, so what's really important about what Dave is describing, and when we were thinking about building this world, it was all about hey, here's this new tool to navigate and see the world in a different way and solve little puzzles and mysteries throughout the missions, the free roam, and the quest content, and beyond. But also what was really important to us is that we lean into Destiny's first-class ability gameplay. And so with Matter Spark, like Dave is mentioning, you're jumping, you're dashing into enemies to destroy them. You're doing giant explosions with them with the Relocator Cannon. You're just blowing everything up with void explosions and graviton lance style like projectile, little secret projectiles. And then what's really fun about Mattermorph is you can just be like throwing these strange shurikens basically to just like delete an encounter before you then like start to morph the environment around you and move to the next area. And so it's just really exciting I'm incredibly excited about watching players just like solve puzzles and fight encounters in ways that like we don't even expect yet, and see how they take on the destination. And just like I really want to emphasize, you're going to be upgrading these, and when you get into especially the post-game experience, it's going to unlock, there's something unlocks with Matterspark that really changes the way that you can play through the entire destination.
Yeah.
So when we're talking about dark matter,
Yes.
we have darkness abilities like Strand and Stasis already. Like, how is dark matter different?
Yeah, so dark matter and darkness are two completely separate things. They're completely different things. But dark matter does exist in our world. In the world of Destiny, we know it as being tightly connected to the Nine. It's what the Nine are actually made out of. In our world, dark matter is invisible. You can't really see it. And it wouldn't be very fun to make a destination where there's an invisible thing that you can't actually see. So lucky for us on Kepler, there's a bioluminescent microbe that allows us to see all of this substance that's impacted this world so much. It allows us to see how it's impacted the plant life, how it's impacted the behavior of the peoples that we're going to encounter. And we can see how it has been able to bring these things that are kind of unstuck in time into this current location.
I do have to put on my drifter hat for just a second and, like, what does it smell like? What does it taste like?
Dark matter smells and tastes like bleach and math.
Yeah.
It's true.
Cannot wait to get that chip flavor.
Yeah.
Get it with a sandwich today after.
It's zesty.
Yeah, pretty good. Actually, so on the topic too of stuff in the trailer as well, we heard someone talking there. Can you tell us who that was?
Sure. That was Lodi. Lodi is a new character that we're introducing in Apollo. Not in Apollo. We're introducing him in The Edge of Fate.
Yeah.
I want to give a special shout out to Brian Villalobos, who portrays Lodi and does a spectacular job. This character is fascinating. He's kind of a fish out of water, but the fun thing about tropes is to kind of put a twist on them, right? So what if that fish that we pulled out of the water was the most qualified fish to be pulled out into the air?
Down for anything.
It's down for anything. And what if that fish was kind of made to be pulled out of the water? I don't want to give away too much because this character is way more fun for the players to figure out what his deal is, but I will say that Lodi is very, very far from home.
Very fair, very exciting. So,
I do have to call out too, before we started this, you and Robbie were talking about how Lodi is like a notice me character.
Oh yeah. Robbie wanted a senpai.
I did. I wanted someone that I just wanted to spend a bunch of time with on this new adventure we're going on.
Yeah, a friend that we can look up to.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Notice me.
Notice me, Lodi.
That's going to be very interesting.
Or rather, Allison does. So with regards to the characters as well, so is it a whole new cast of characters in The Edge of Fate?
No, we're going to see some new faces like Lodi and other characters, but we're also going to see some familiar ones too. Ikora is here. The stakes are high enough that she's here investigating what's going on. And as it turns out, in one of our major mysteries, she's kind of at the center of it. She was invited here, as was Lodi. Same as we were. All of it's kind of tied together.
Very exciting. So
the way, if I can,
No,
like the way we think about this is about all these characters. Their fates are intertwined in some way. There's these puppet masters that have been pulling the strings for a very, very long time in order for everyone to get here at this moment. And so, as a guardian and these characters involved, they're going to have to decide if they're fight your fate. Like that's what we think about. For these individuals, that's what they're going to have to go through and determine about how they can stand up to this new conflict that is surrounded by the Nine, because they are fated to be here. And what does that mean for them, and what does that mean for their future and the future of Soul itself? So.
So with regard to these new characters and this world we find ourselves in, was there anything about that setting, or in particular, that really influenced the creation, rather, of this world that we're going to be inhabiting?
Yeah, I'll give you a list of fun facts. First off, if you've been paying attention to Destiny over the last week or so, you already know that there's been people on Kepler for a long time. That's an old-ass computer that you were putting those numbers into.
Yeah,
we also
true.
know that the Vex are here. They're studying the Nine, because it turns out the Nine can do something that the Vex can't. as Dave mentioned, the House of Exile are also here. They've become fixated on a being that they call the Giver. And kind of most importantly, the dimensionality on Kepler is really thin. So the 3 dimensions that we can know and see and touch are very close to the realm that the 9 live in. And that means some things from Earth's past have been yanked into Kepler's present.
Exciting.
Nice. Yeah, I mean, so
Interesting.
we've been talking about invitations throughout this, and we need to call out an invitation that's actually going to be waiting in the game after this is over. Ride of the Nine begins today.
Yeah.
So I believe we have a trailer to show.
Yeah, you were nice enough to bring a trailer along. I'll go ahead and give it a look really
Yeah,
quickly.
let's do it.
Oh, let's do it. Three difficulties challenge. Okay, Explorer guided experience. Eternity, increased enemy strength and new challenges. An ultimatum. Only the strongest will endure. Interesting. Very interesting.
Right, so that's Ride of the Nine, which
Yeah.
is our essential prologue story for The Edge of Fate. And these 3 dungeons that are featured in this event are free for all players starting today. And so what's really important about this is that these dungeons are both for veteran dungeon crawlers, hardcore raiders, people who've been in these places a lot, but also new Guardians who have never stepped into a dungeon before, right? What was really important for us when we were developing Ride of the Nine was that we were changing the formula on how we can think about how we can welcome even more people into these experiences. And so you're gonna be able to go in solo, buffed up, and explore a dungeon by yourself, or go in match made with other fire team members shoulder to shoulder for the very first time. But don't worry, because we also have that higher level challenge for our veteran, our hardcore dungeon crawlers, where you're going to be able to earn the best possible loot, exclusive rewards, and also an exclusive title as part of Rights of the Nine. What's also really important about this event for being a prologue for the Edge of Fate is that it really reintroduces the emissary into the game, and you're going to learn why her job is pretty crappy and why she quits at the top of the Edge of Fate, like we saw at the beginning of this show. And so, Andy, we've been talking a bunch about how our Destiny expansions are changing the formula for Destiny going forward. So now I think it's time for us to start talking about how the core hobby of Destiny is changing going forward, the day-to-day of playing Destiny, week over week experience. And we've got someone else on the couch here to help us talk about that.
We have an expert in that very subject now who has gone ahead and joined us on the couch. We are now joined by the one and only Mr. Ben Womack, creative director here on Destiny. Ben, how's it going, man?
Hey, I'm doing great. I'm really excited to be here. There's a lot to talk about.
Yeah, seriously.
There is a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be a very good conversation we have coming up.
Yes.
But before we get into that, can you tell us just a little bit about what you do here?
Yeah. So I'm the Destiny 2 creative director for the core game, or the core hobby, as we call it.
Yeah.
And it has to do with all parts of the game, everything from Edge of Fate, through our seasons, through the fundamental systems. And in particular, like Robbie's saying, I've been focusing on thinking about the kind of building blocks of Destiny 2 and getting those like not only stood up, but also transformed and iterated on in some really exciting new places.
Nice. Well, let's go ahead and just start at the top. Can you tell us a little bit about what like the core formula of Destiny is changing and why?
Yes, so I think we need to start with the why first, because it's important to think about what is Destiny, what is great about Destiny. And Destiny is best when you have like awesome chases that you're excited about, you have really cool, powerful builds to make, and there's a mountain to climb that's right in front of you that you want to climb. You're like, I want that mountain, it looks pretty cool. And the thing that is not always true right now in Destiny is like, it doesn't feel streamlined as it could. Players don't have as much agency. We want to be player driven, we want to be more rewarding than we are. Because right now there are barriers to playing Destiny like in the best way. And those barriers are insurmountable sometimes. So think about that whole picture of, okay, what is the Destiny that we really want, that has been in the past, that we also want to get back to, and where we want to go for the future? That's where all the changes you're going to see have started, like at their inception point. So it's a big piece of the pie.
Massive updates coming across so many systems of the game.
Okay.
This is like we're just getting in, digging into the surface.
Yeah. I mean, to that same end, then, how are we making it easier? Pardon me, to go ahead and just get straight into the fun.
Oh no, let's do it, because that's exactly what we want to do. Yeah. And the first thing you're going to see when you log into Destiny with Edge of Fate, you're going to log in your character and see your ship in orbit. It's going to say, it's not going to say Open Director. It's going to say Open Portal. And the portal is our new front page of the game. We're trying to like get you to the fun as fast as possible and as few clicks as we can. Like,
oh, holy shit! Wow.
So that it's like right immediately there. No fumbling around with the map to get to it really. And
okay.
we're also taking other big parts of the game, the ritual game and for seasons, and putting them into these ops categories. So the idea is that we're having these different ops for different moods. We're having solo ops. Or have a bunch of fire team ops. We have pinnacle ops, and of course we have crucible ops. Still super important for the game.
Yeah. I mean, to start up at the top, can you tell us a little bit more about what solo ops is?
Oh, yeah. So solo ops is exactly what it says on the tin. It is a bunch of activities that are made for solo players. And the conception point of that was we want to make activities for players who have a smaller amount of time that they want to play in, and they don't necessarily want to have dependencies on other players, but they still want to get in there and play for 10 to 15 minutes and get some real progress.
Yeah, get some loot.
Yeah, get some loot. Yeah. Get some loot and your
okay, interesting. So they're just
I played some Destiny and that was great.
They're basically just compounding all the stuff into one directory, so people aren't having to go around and just go to one thing, then go to one thing, go to another thing. Okay, I like that. Quality of life improvement. I appreciate it.
So Robbie actually has a great way of talking about this.
Yeah, some of the North Star that is what we talk about when we were developing the portal early on was like, where are we headed with this thing? And ultimately, it's play your way. It's giving players more agency, more personal drive to figure out how they want to engage with the power climb and the new progression systems coming and our seasons. And so the entirety new progression and power climb is now all available to you in the portal at your fingertips in one place. It's really easy to find, really easy to jump in. Anything you play inside of that category is any of those categories is gonna help you make progress. And so, because we want Destiny to be welcoming not only to new players, but also old players who are coming back to the game.
I do love the armor set too. The armor set does look sick.
And we also want this to be like a new even playing field for everyone. And so, as part of this is a commitment from us, as part of the core hobby and all the seasonal content we're building, that we're going to be continually investing in this, right? We're going to be continually updating this over time for years to come. And so, you're asking me directly, like, what else is there to do? Yeah. Ben mentioned solo ops. We also have the fire team ops and pinnacle ops. Both of these are more around playing with other fire team members, shoulder to shoulder, where fire team ops are more quicker sessions. There are some longer form things in it too, but then pinnacle ops are more about those really long form or more challenging kind of focused activities like exotic missions, for instance. And so, and then the one thing we haven't talked about yet very deeply, but is incredibly important, and it's something that I think we've done for the first time like ever, or maybe since early D1.
It's kind of a return to form.
Yeah. You're going to be able to experience the entirety of the power climb within Crucible Ops by playing PvP, right? So this means like, if you want to be sweaty, Andy, which like I know you're Dylan too. I know you're that way, right?
Okay,
like, both of
interesting.
Like, put the sweatbands on. You're going to be able to play the entire experience in the season here and earn some of the highest tier loot that's also available in the game.
So I have to say this is like super exciting because like my player type or other folks out in the community, like they want to go in, they want to jam on PvP, but then their friends invite them to do a dungeon or a higher tier activity, and they're like, oh wait, I need to grind a long time to get up to power. Now through PvP, they can get up to power, and you can just bring them into that PvE experience and have a fun time with each other.
Yeah. So. That's honestly how I primarily played D1.
I mean, okay. I mean,
so
I guess that does make sense, because I guess if you're just doing PvE stuff for pinnacles and everything, you don't get that many. So yeah, I guess that's a good way of doing it too. I can agree.
That's true. Yeah.
And so we really want to give agency. That's one of the things. Player driven towards loot and challenge. And so we have a really hugely expanded activity customization system. We have a lot more difficulty levels, and we have a ton of new modifiers. We have 50 new modifiers along with all the old modifiers.
50 modifiers? Holy shit.
That are going to make this big curated web of options for you to experience any of the PvE content in the curator. And so like we have Banes, not just old Banes that we have, but new Banes as well. We also have boons to help you like get advantages in your activities and for your build. We have challenges and trade-offs. And the fun part is you're going to get these different combinations that are available, and you're going to then make a mix that's actually going to change the way you play and be pretty interesting, and sometimes the way you prefer you play. Like there's a new boon called Grappler that I personally love, it's kind of my preferred way to play, where they give you 3 grapple grenades, replacing your current grenade. You can't do the melee, but they recharge super fast. So any build you want, you could now Spider-Man around any map. It's actually super fun.
It's so fun. Yeah, and I mean, like, what's at the heart of what Ben is talking about is what we kind of call the virtuous cycle, right? Where you're going to be crafting your build, tinkering with the activity, looking at like how you can earn a higher tier of reward by taking on higher challenge. And as you earn better loot, you're looking towards that next mountain to climb just ahead of you all the time. And so this is really about how far you want to push yourself upwards within the portal itself. But also, we also are thinking about the people, and that's the depth, right? That's the depth of the challenge that we're talking about. That's also, but we're also thinking about the people who don't have as much time to play with like solo ops, and also if you're scared of modifiers or you're scared of customizing these activities.
Or you just don't feel like
doing it. Yeah, no, that's a great way to describe it. Thank you. We have a bunch of quick play options, right, Ben?
Yeah, quick play options, and we actually have matchmaking and Fireteam ops. And we have Fireteam Finder. And so you're able to like really choose kind of what you're in the mood for.
Oh yeah, we technically have matchmaking across every activity that exists.
Except for solo ops, because that's solo.
Right.
But yes,
Otherwise,
otherwise,
in the
aside
Fireteams
from
and
that
Pinnacle
one.
Ops, it's everything.
Yeah, you'll have options to play by yourself or with other people. Oh, actually, a really fun part is you can play a strike by yourself as hard as you want it to
That's
now,
true,
which is really fun. Yeah.
Well, you're talking about like all the different boons and combinations. I think at one point you were saying around 50 or something like that. Those
50 new
apply.
ones.
50 new ones.
Yeah.
So it's like you can take those into solo ops. Like we're talking about this being kind of leisurely, bite-sized activity, but if you want to take it and say, I don't want Weenie Hut Jr., I want like esoteric level solo hardest thing in the world, like you can kind of customize and do that.
You can just do it from the very start if you really want to.
Yeah.
And
Depends on how deep you want to go.
Yeah.
Really.
Yeah, and the point is that you're going to like stretch that far, and we want the reward to feel like worthwhile.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah, you want to feel like as you're pushing yourself, you are rewarded for it. That is something that's really important to the vision here for the portal. Yeah.
Rewards, huh?
Rewards. There are a lot of rewards, aren't there?
It's funny you mentioned it. Yeah, you know, Banes, boons, modifiers, but let's talk about gear for a little bit here.
Yeah.
What's changing about loot and why should Guardians care?
Yeah, so like talking about chases and mountains and builds, like gear's at the center of all of that. And
Yeah, so it is interesting you can customize the gameplay now, which is crazy.
The first one is Armor 3.0. And the next one is gear tiers. And so, like, talking about Armor 3.0 first, we are probably making the biggest change ever since Shadowkeep.
Okay.
It's enormous.
Whoa.
Yeah, so like we're adding set bonuses, which is a long-requested feature for all the new armor that you're going to be able to get at Edge of Fate launch, and we're redoing all the stats on armor. Where they can now like exceed 100.
Go beyond 100.
Go beyond 100 for extra bonuses.
Yep.
We're going to every single piece of new legendary armor that drops is going to have all the energy filled in, so you can build crafting right away, and it's going to essentially like. There's more features actually that I could talk about, but I don't think I'm allowed to yet.
Fair. Well, something that we can talk about too. You mentioned gear tiers as well.
Yeah.
Let's talk about that a little bit.
Yeah. So gear tiers
what
are
the heck is
exciting
that?
because every single legendary weapon and armor that you can get is going to have 5 gear tiers, starting from 1 going up to 5. And like we have a 5 gear tier 5 piece of legs armor on the screen right now, and you can see that like this is like looks really cool with iconography, but it also has a ton more stats. And oh look, what's that?
Yeah, what's going on with the energy there?
Yeah, the energy.
Ben?
Yeah, the energy says 11, and it's true.
11. Yep.
It's not a typo. Like the energy is going to 11 for the higher tier armor. And so if you want that for your build crafting opportunities, it does like give you some new options you never had before. You're going to have to challenge yourself to get more higher tier armor and keep on going to get yet more higher tier armor to get those options.
Yeah. And this is also not something that's just relegated to armor, right? When it comes to weapons, they're obviously getting their own refresh as well.
Yes,
I mean, what's Destiny without chasing some?
You read my mind.
Yeah, like weapons
seriously.
are part of the player identity. You know, some people like have a gun that they love.
You got fashion, and then you have.
This is gonna be crazy, like a
We
whole
do
new gaming
have
experience,
fashion
honestly.
for your guns a bit.
A
well, so because once you reach tier 5 for your legendary drops, you're going to be getting tier 5 weapons, and those have unique shader treatment. It's like essentially a completely different look that's going to immediately identify it to you and others that this is the highest tier gear of this drop that you can get. It's going to show on the weapon. It's going to show on the icon. It's even going to show when you kill enemies with that weapon, because there's unique kill effects for tier 5 weapons that you can turn on or off if you don't want it. But your gameplay will like show that the weapon that
Interesting.
is
So
the
new
highest
kill
tier.
effects. That's actually kind of
Giver's
cool.
Blessing, which I think we have on screen right now. This is one of the Kepler auto rifles, and I cannot put this thing down. Yeah, when we're playing through the Edge of Fate right now. And it's what's really exciting about it for me is that like when you see that tier 5 drop, like you know immediately that's better than like a tier 3 or tier 4 weapon that you have, right? And I think that's when we talk about making Destiny easier to just jump in, find the fun, make it accessible, but also create more depth. You know, this is what we're thinking about. It's like how can we just make immediate, like you understand, like okay, this is probably better than the thing I have right now, depending on what gear tier it is.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a good example of how much time and effort is being put into these game systems to make them more like approachable. Change can be scary. There's a lot of change that's about to come to the game. We're Armor 3.0, we have so many new boons, we have a bunch of new stuff. And after 10 years of Destiny, this is going to flip some stuff on its head. So, I mean, we're going to have a bunch of blog content. We're going to have interviews with Robbie, with Ben, with more folks across the team that have been working on this. And then we'll also be elevating our creator community when they're creating guides, all that kind of stuff. It's going to be a fun time. But ultimately, a big shout out and thank you to all the folks that have been coming into our studio, giving feedback early on some of these systems so they can be more approachable. And we're looking forward to all the feedback that's going to be coming after launch too. Like this is again one of our first steps into something, and then the community and we are going to build something amazing.
Yeah, and I can't stress enough how much feedback we've gotten from the community summits we've been running over the last year for the Edge of Fate, and just people reaching out to the community teams and others to us. Like your feedback is invaluable. So like seriously, like thank you so much. We're making this game together ultimately.
Yeah, it's incredibly important part of the process. Like I don't think we would be able to make what we do without it.
Yeah.
Working with the community is obviously a core part. Dylan, huge thanks to you and your team, obviously, for helping to lead that charge. And in advance for the big blogs you get to write. And then also our social media team will go ahead and get out the door. So go ahead and give us a follow.
I think, Ben, you were saying you wanted to try to break the record for longest twid?
I'm more predicting we are.
Yeah. So
it's not about try, it's just the state of things.
It's going to be a multi-month journey as we head towards launch.
So. Yeah, be a good time. But, you know, we've been talking a lot about the core Destiny hobby. How does that extend into, like, how players are going to experience, like, a full year of Destiny?
Yeah, so we've been focusing on improving and changing the formula of Destiny in multiple ways. And so progressing through the Fate Saga is going to be more meaningful with 2 expansions a year. We've been talking about how focusing our seasons.
Okay, so they did change it.
Core hobby of Destiny and that commitment to continually updating it. And in addition, we're going to have 2 free major updates between each of our major expansions coming in the Year of Prophecy and beyond. And so ultimately that means there's 4 big beats happening in a year, 2 expansions, 2 free major updates between those expansions. So what that means we're not doing is paid seasonal content anymore. We're not doing separate seasonal storylines. And this also means we're not building a bunch of activity content that basically just goes away and is less meaningful to the game after 3 months. So we're instead focusing all of that effort that used to go there instead into building up the core hobby of the game so the core hobby stays fresh and exciting, you know, year round. And so ultimately, this means no more paywalls for seasonal content, and also these major updates themselves that I'm signposting around right now. The size of them roughly and the inspiration for them we're thinking about is like Into the Light.
Okay. So when you say like Into the Light, for folks that aren't out there, like what for a major update, how big is that? Like how do you encapsulate that?
So when I say Into the Light, a lot of this is like the inspiration of what it was. And with Into the Light came a really cool theme that wrapped around all the new stuff we were building within it, but also a lot of the reprise stuff as well. And also, you know, with it came Onslaught, a new type of activity. It came with reprised exotic missions and a rethinking of how we could do like a rad style event, a raid event with the Pantheon. And so for our first major update coming a few weeks after the Edge of Fate launches, we've got Ash and Iron. Right? And so with Ash and Iron, we're going to be returning to the Plague Lands.
Returning to the Plague Lands, can't wait.
Really?
Yes.
So,
no fucking shot. That's
from
sick.
Where we left off from the Edge of Fate, and with it, we're going to have a new activity called Reclaim, a brand new exotic mission, new types of pinnacle ops entering that for the first time, as well as, of course, what's Destiny without loot to chase? We've got new gear, new rewards, and 2 new exotic weapons as part of Ash and Iron as well. And again, this major update and the season, all the seasonal content going forward is free for all players. All the activity content that exists.
Dude, that's sick. That's actually really cool.
So even to actually go one quick layer 2 deeper on seasons as well, what are some of the cool things that we're going to be able to do with the season that's launching alongside the Edge of Fate?
Yeah, Ben has been working on this space for the team for a while now, so I'm going to kick this one to him.
Yeah, so we're trying to make any time the best time to hop into Destiny. You know, and one of the ways we want to do that is we want to invest in events that are like accelerating the game and enhancing every part of the game, but also bringing new cool stuff. And actually, we've been working on this so long, we actually have some new cool stuff coming before the Edge of Fate.
It's a special little treat.
Yeah, special little treat. So this Friday, you can play a little event, maybe you've heard of it, called Heavy Metal, which is tanks versus Brutes.
Oh, yeah.
It's super fun.
Right.
I would kind of wish.
Oh, so that's coming Friday. Okay.
But the thing that people at home don't know is we have a new reward. That's a unique thing in Destiny if you invest in this event, if you go and play it. And it is a free-to-play event. So this reward is free to play. It is a new combat vehicle that goes in your Sparrow sled, combat Sparrow, if you will, called the Griffin. And this is a really cool, like, combat-ready vehicle you can take anywhere you can summon a Sparrow. You can summon it and use it to fight your enemies and just have a really good time. And there's some really cool build crafting things with this vehicle that I don't want to spoil right now. Let people discover. But I'm
wait. Build crafting?
We're gonna ride those skimmers forever.
For
Well, I mean, we've
for
been
a
seeing,
vehicle.
Like, what was it? Skimmer is Flash, and the Griffin is Splash.
Hey, there we go.
Okay, that's gonna be interesting. I might actually have to play heavy metal then. I'm not a big PvP guy, but I'll do it for a unique vehicle. That sounds
like I
cool.
just said, there's more events that we've been making. There's one that's going to happen right after the launch of Edge of Fate. It's called Arms Week, and it's a 1-week-long event, and you're going to be focusing on one weapon archetype in Arms Week whenever it comes around. And this one is going to give you a new legendary weapon of that type. It's going to have some volatile mods that are there for the week that are going to be super interesting and fun to play with, and some focusing you can do. But there is a problem when you say this event is going to be about weapons and about using them.
Yeah, you got to have a place to test all that out.
Right. And
yeah,
so I mean, I've been doing that in EDZ this whole time. I don't know about the rest of you.
Those poor dregs.
Right?
Yeah.
But there is a new way now. We have a new feature, a long requested feature that is being added to the game with Arms Week. It is the shooting range. And the shooting range is being added to the tower. It is a now permanent addition to the game with the launch of Arms Week. We're not taking it away. And you can go there and you can try out everything in your kit, everything about your build, with all sorts of simulations of different kinds of enemies and situations, and it's all real damage numbers. It's like
it's even got a scoreboard.
It's even got a scoreboard
for you
right there.
And your fire team.
Interesting.
Your whole raid team can go down into the shooting range and try out, like, see exactly how well you're going to do for some kind of boss at this range or with a strategy.
Who can do most of the damage, right?
Yeah, well, you're finally going to know.
So we have a rally flag. It's not just a shooting range. Like, you can go beyond the firing line and use your abilities too.
Yeah, you totally can. And like if
interesting. So it kind of is almost like the
Transcendence and try that out.
Oh, what is I'm thinking of here?
I think the reason why we're not seeing that right now is because it's a Titan.
Yeah, it's a good soldier.
Standing
on that firing line.
Yeah, standing on the
Oh,
firing line.
what's the thing I'm thinking of here? Gosh darn it! What's the
have some upheavals to their Google Docs, I'm guessing.
the thing from
really good tool, like,
was it Season of Opulence? I think it was.
Gear tiering and all of that. You can go in and check those damage numbers in real time.
Like the gallery. Wasn't that Season of Opulence where they had that huge gallery? It was like same time around Bad Juju, things like that. I'm almost 90% positive.
Weapons.
Oh yeah, well
one more thing, right?
Yeah, no, there's one more thing. And you're excited. So there's more events. Of course, there's more events, and the holiday events are coming up. Where Solstice is right around the corner.
It's
as
summertime,
well.
right?
It's summertime. Summertime is Solstice time in Destiny 2, and Solstice has some really cool twists and such that we're planning. But I'm not going to talk about that right now. I want to show you all the new hollow foil treatment we have for Solstice weapons.
Okay,
so,
interesting.
This is the hollow foil treatment for Solstice.
Okay, that's.
It is.
That's actually kind of cool.
It's amazing every time I look at it. It is an ocean and the
Huh.
line. Yeah,
I do like the fact that they're doing these hollow foils to show off like the newer rarities and stuff. I think that's
weapon
cool.
That drops for this event can have a hollow foil.
Yeah,
no
so it
matter
could be
what
a tier 1 or tier 3. Yeah, any weapon can have the hollow foil.
Yeah, the tier 5 hollow foil.
Ooh.
Like that's great chase.
Okay.
Our other events will also have hollow foils.
Yeah, like Arms Week you're talking
Arms Week will have its own hollow foil treatment. Like every event, a major event we have will have a hollow foil treatment. The holidays will have their own kind of special one, but yeah, Arms Week will have their hollow foil drops that you can farm as well.
Super exciting.
It's
It's going to be a good time.
I do kind of like that they're doing new kinks for the weapons to kind of get, reasons to chase them.
We've got one more thing.
Yeah, I mean, we've been talking a lot about here are the free updates coming to Destiny, the portal, a bunch of different stuff, Edge of Fate, but we also have another expansion, and we need Allison back on the couch to talk about it.
Yeah, Allison.
She's the best one to talk about.
Yeah.
Wait, another expansion? Wait, they're talking about
Allison, thank you for taking the time to join us today. We appreciate it.
Of course. I'm so excited to be the one more thing.
Yeah, it's a tradition around here, so we're glad that you could obviously go ahead and lead us into this one. But, as Dylan mentioned, we've talked about the Edge of Fate, but this is the first year we're going to be doing 2 expansions over the course of a year. can you tell us a little bit about Renegades?
Yeah, so we're going to
Renegades,
have a dedicated
okay.
reveal for Renegades in September alongside our major update, Ashen Iron. But earlier we were talking about how sometimes our formulas can constrain us from experimenting and innovating. And so in that spirit, Renegades is going to be very different from the Edge of Fate. What I can tell you, and we'll talk plenty about it later, is that we're going to be experimenting and innovating with activities, with social mechanics, and more. But more importantly, I want to talk about our inspiration. And so I have to kind of tee it up first. So Renegades is going to be a Destiny, like definitively Destiny expansion. This is part of the Fate saga, and it's going to push it forward in important ways and introduce characters that we're going to spend time with for years to come. It is an essential Fate saga story. And it's an homage to a universe that has inspired Bungie from the start. It's a universe that all of us here on the couch grew up with, as well as everyone else at the studio, and millions of you back at home, too. It is a peanut butter and combination, a peanut butter and like chocolate combination inside.
I'm actually kind of like wondering,
that
what
could
is
only
she?
be possible in the kind of world that we build here. And so I am absolutely thrilled to be able to give our first sneak peek at Destiny 2 Renegades.
Let's take a look.
They're even giving us the next one? Okay. What's Renegades gonna be about? What the heck? What the Shut the fuck up. Star Wars? Wait, oh yeah, Renegades. No shit, I'm an idiot. Wait, how... Wait, how's that gonna work? What?
Okay, Robbie, what did we just see?
Yeah,
So
what?
that's Renegades, which is coming out this December. And to really drive it home here, Renegades is a one-of-a-kind Destiny experience, right? And just like we on the
I'm
Destiny
so
team have taken
confused.
inspiration from other genres like dark fantasy or cosmic horror, Renegades takes the space western vibe and aesthetic that is Star Wars, and it puts it through that Destiny lens. And ultimately, it's created a new lawless frontier that is emerging within Seoul. And so, like, we're so excited to show Renegades off a little bit today and to be talking about it more in the future in September alongside the free major update with Ashen Iron. But right now, today, we're focused on Rite of the Nine and what's right around the corner with the Edge of Fate.
Absolutely. No, I heard a lot of calendars get marked just now on September, but no, super excited to share more.
I mean, are we getting like a lightsaber sword or something? Like
of today's show, which again we covered a lot.
There's been a lot.
I mean, it's inspired by Star Wars, so I'm
we went
very,
through a lot of it. So let's go ahead and
very
quickly
intrigued to see
double-check. We obviously
what
went through
happens.
The Year of Prophecy, pardon me, is going to go ahead and kick off on July 15th, and this kicks off a brand new multi-year Fate saga and our new focus on the core hobby of Destiny. The first expansion, The Edge of Fate, is going to be launching again on July 15th, as I noted, with its raid launching on July 19th.
Okay, hold up.
Yeah.
So you're going through a lot of information. We already covered that.
Oh, yeah.
But like, you can't just sneak in a raid date. We have a new raid coming with the expansion, July 19th. We're going to have a bunch of blogs. We're going to have the rules, regulations, all that kind of stuff for our raid race.
Of course.
We invite everybody to come in, try to go for that world first title. And yeah, I mean, just stay tuned for more details. We're not going to spoil anything. It's a raid. We got to keep.
Yeah,
it
true. Yeah, you can't.
Everybody mark your calendars.
Yeah. Bungie.net is the place to go ahead and learn more. And again, follow our social media channels. Do us all a favor. So in addition to that, again, as we noted, Ashen Iron, our first free major update, will be launching on September 9th. Renegades, very exciting, will be launching in December. And then keep an eye again on our social channels. We'll provide all the updates once they're available. But as far as today goes, the Edge of Fate and the entire Year of Prophecy pre-orders are available starting right now. Now, pre-ordering for starters, the Ultimate Edition will go ahead and unlock the New Land Beyond.
New Land Beyond.
Yep.
That exotic sniper.
Super
I can't
exciting.
wait, man.
I can't wait, same, honestly. That'll be unlockable in addition to several other goodies. And also, we've also got a collector's edition that'll be available. You can see here on screen.
Wait, there's
we'll be coming with an awful lot of very
Okay,
cool stuff,
I'm
including
gonna
this
have to
cool
check out the
statue that you
pre-orders
may have
once I'm done with
noticed here that's been
this.
Sitting with us on stage. This is one that you can go ahead and add to your collection as well.
Okay,
but,
that is a
that's
pretty
not all
cool
that's in there.
I was gonna say, I noticed
We
that
got-
at the start of the show.
writing
That's
team
pretty
got a little
cool.
excited on this one. We put a lot of lore goodies into this collector's edition. So like that weird metal thing, that weird envelope. Boy, weird. Wonder what's up with that.
Just decorative
You should
points?
probably read it. Yeah. Anyway, we're gonna do a dramatic reading as soon as
Yeah, we
we're
should
done.
go downstairs immediately after.
really
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
right
okay.
after this.
Count me in. And then again, too, as far as today goes, Ride of the Nine. This is the essential prologue to the Edge of Fate, and like all of our events moving forward, is going to be a free to all players. So make sure and go ahead and check that out when that arrives. And before the show wraps up, make sure and stick around for a little bit longer. We're going to be rating our good friend Sammy Cat as well. So go ahead and give her a follow. Tell her we said hello in chat. Pardon me. If you have any Twitch Prime subs or anything like that, go ahead and do us a favor. Drop it over there and check out her stream. She's going to be having a good time. But that concludes it for us here today. So for starters, huge thanks to my teammates here for joining me.
Thank you, Andy.
Thanks for having us.
Absolutely, yeah. Robbie, Allison, Dylan, of course. There we go. We got Ben, and of course, Mr. Dave Samuel. Thank you all so much for being here today. And then, of course, to the crew that puts all this on.
Thank you,
This
everyone.
doesn't happen by accident. Thank you all so much for all of your hard work and dealing with me on these last couple of days. And of course, to everyone at home, to all of our guardians out there in the community, thank you. It's a tremendous privilege to get the opportunity to share what we've been working on early, and it matters only if you guys show up and join us. So we really appreciate it. We hope you enjoyed. And otherwise, in the meantime, until we see you again, take care of yourselves, take care of each other, and we'll see you all Starside.
Fair enough. Love the close-up shots of all that stuff there. So, the Edge of Fate, ladies and gentlemen. That is the future with Destiny. Holy crap. I'm gonna give my full overall, guys. Give me just 1 second. I will be back. Okay, I'm back, guys. So, I kind of want to just go over some of the things that I kind of wanted to highlight. I know I haven't done one of these overalls in a while, so bear with me. But I do want to go back through and just kind of take a moment to highlight some of the core things that was with this live stream. So, obviously we had that, you know, just to start from the front, we obviously had the teaser trailer for The Edge of Fate. And looked very, very interesting. I'm very excited to see, like, you know, again, the story. Of obviously, the idea that this commuter with the Nine apparently, like, quit her job. Don't know how that's going to impact the story. Very interesting to see that new side of the Nine that we've never really seen before. But, you know, very nice little teaser to bring us to the next project. The fact that the new destination... I can't remember the name right off the top of my head with it, but the new destination. But first of all, before I even get to that,
And we're going to be giving you
I want to talk about the fact that, you know,
and so
all the,
gauge what's
you know,
coming.
I kind of want to just go over the different points. So if we go through all the different stuff that was just breaking to us, you know what I mean? So the first thing we obviously got is, you know, like I said, it's just a lot to grasp. So I apologize, guys. Give me just a second so I can kind of just revolve my head around everything, because, like I said, there was a lot to take in, guys. So like I said, so we got, again, we got the trail, you know, the new trailer for Edge of Fate. Looked very, very fascinating. Then you got the you know, the break, you know, all the expansions that they got going on for this year. So obviously we got Edge of Fate coming out on the 15th of July, which that is in approximately just over 2 months away. So that's actually pretty surprising to me, because I thought it was going to be like June, because with this, with the fact that the Edge, the Ride of the Nine only rolls around 3 dungeons, I thought it was going to be like, oh, only like a 1 month type of thing, but no, 2 full months. So that's going to be very interesting. So we got that coming out July 15th. Then we got Renegades, which is somehow a Star Wars inspired event, or season, which is, or expansion, whatever you want to call it. That's gonna be insane. And then we got the Shattered Cycle, which is coming out 2026, and the Alchemist, that's the codename for that one, and winter 2026, which looked absolutely crazy. So the fact that we got all that coming up is going to be insane. Then you got this crazy, amazing new destination called Kitelin or whatever it's called. Very, very unique destination. Very, very cool looking. Very, very awesome. I mean, there's so much to try to wrap my head around, guys. I do apologize. To wrap my head around, guys, I do apologize. Like I said, there's just so much to wrap my head around, and everything just kind of just going all at once. So again, bear with me here for a moment, because I'm also trying to like just go through all the different like highlight points over the last few minutes, just with everything going on. Just the last few things going on over the last hour. So like I said, we got we have all these new the new destination, Kepler, very interesting location. Love the way it looks. We got apparently some looks into some new enemies, which are obviously we got the Fallen, we got the Vex returning. We also have the fact that apparently, we got some new style of enemies. We have Fallen Corsairs, which apparently were those guys with the jetpacks. And we also have Vex Colobots, which I'm just looking over the feeds on Twitter and whatnot, with some people have been posting, which look interesting. So, might have to go back. I might go back through later and try and see if I can find those enemies, because those sound very interesting. Maybe that's what these little guys are. No idea. Those look more Fallen to me. But actually, no. Those are Vexy. So yeah, we'll say those are the Copal. What were they called again? Kobolds. That's what they're called. Sorry about that, guys. Then you have the new ability. So we're not necessarily getting new powers, but we're getting new ways to explore around the destination. I think that's kind of cool. We had the dark matter utilization with Matter Spark, which was that blue orb looking little thing. You had what were the other things? The Matter Morph, which is where you get, use your strand to shape the things. You got like a rocket launch type thing. I'm going to be very excited to see how the new environment interacts and everything's going to be. I think that's going to be something interesting to look around and see how that interacts with later on. One thing I kind of did notice on screen, and you guys can kind of see it if you look down below near the kind of mid-bottom left, is they kind of didn't talk about these super and the heavy fill bars. I don't know what that's all about, personally. I don't remember them mentioning anything. If they did, feel free to correct me in the comments if they did mention something about that, because I didn't remember seeing anything about that. And obviously we got a new character, Lodi. Interesting to see what his character is going to be about. Obviously the Ride of the Nine event looks amazing, looks very, very sick. Going to be very excited to play that coming up. Then we have the some of the quality of life stuff that they talked about, where is it? I want to make sure I got the right kind of spot, because I was very interested to see this right here. The new quality of life upgrade with the portal, the new basic, the new front door to Destiny. And apparently this is actually arriving. This is arriving with Ride of the Nine. I thought this was arriving with Edge of Fate, not Ride of the Nine. But just taking a look at it, it does look very interesting, because you got the public event, top right we have here. You guys can't see it because of my screen, my face cam. But we got the public events like Solstice top right. We got the seasonal hub below it, which obviously shows our daily quest. Quick launch for stuff like campaign and I guess other stuff, which is really cool. You got all the pinnacle activities, quick stuff and everything. So the fact that they're kind of minimalizing how much and how long it takes you to have to go around and try to find everything. I think that is a very good way of doing it. I really do like, again, the quality of life improvements. And, you know, just being able to navigate and guide everything through all the stuff. Like, there was the part where they kind of show off the solo ops section here a little bit. Yeah, so, like, solo ops, you got, like, your fire team op list, you got your advanced list, you got all the different activities and, like, all the different, like, tier level difficulties and probably even, like, nightfalls, like, strikes and stuff like that. I think that's very, very interesting. That's very, very cool. And the fact that, like, with some of these activities, like with the ops, the fact that you're going to be able to set the difficulty for them as well. Where's that part of that section? Right? That section, yeah, right about here. It looked like that section, yeah. So the fact that not only can you set, like, obviously your matchmade options, but the fact that you're going to be able to set all the different modifiers, and essentially the higher and the more difficult you make it for yourself, the more gear you're going to make. That's actually really, really cool. Very, very impressive. I like that. Very, very nice. And then, obviously, they went in, you know, the fact they went into Armor 3.0, which was very, very interesting. I kind of want to see if I can just get some tidbits of that. So we got all the different ones. You got, like, your health. And the fact that the stats can go over 100 and be customized. And it looks like they're restructuring, like, the power and everything like that, which is very, very cool. Kind of interested to see what these buffs here underneath are going to be about. I think that just has to do with the gear, obviously. Because, yeah, like, I think if I remember reading correctly, yeah, so if you wear, I guess, 2 pieces of the same armor set, or the same tier, depending, I assume that they'll go into more of it later on. But with that, if you wear 2 pieces of the similar set, it gains certain effects. So, like, with this one, with this particular armor set, if you wear 2 pieces of the same set, you deal significantly increased kinetic. So with this one, the Tech Sec set, wearing 2 pieces significantly increases kinetic damage to combatant shields, overshields, vehicles, and constructs. Constructs include barricades, turrets, stasis crystals, and other objects created in the field. If you are wearing 4 pieces of this gear, defeating a powerful combatant or breaking a combatant shield with kinetic damage releases a distorting kinetic shockwave. So similar to, like, kinetic tremors, which that looks amazing. That's very, very interesting. So, and then obviously, you know, we got, like, the other armor sets. So, like, this one, you have the Ion Renewal, which is after a final blow with a rocket or grenade launcher, sprint for a short time to gain speed boost, and then once per activation of Force Converter, sprinting while at critical health whilst being suspended or being slowed by stasis effect will immediately grant a speed boost for a short time. So they're changing up all the different stuff, which is, like, how gear interacts with you and everything. And I do like the fact that now gear isn't just something cosmetic. There's going to be a reason to chase after specific tiers and specific levels of gear, and I like that. Then getting into the weapons, and the fact that all the gear and the gear and the weapons are now proceeding up to different tiers, like tier when you get legendaries and stuff, and with, like, tier 5 level stuff having better stats, perks, providing more bonuses than previous tiers, and the fact that weapons are even doing that. Like, this is a tier 5 Giver's Blessing auto rifle, looks amazing, looks beautiful. The fact that, you know, triple stat perks, you know, probably the higher tier stuff are going to be the ones that have, you know, and maybe instead of the way that I see it, probably the tier 5 stuff are going to be the ones where you don't have to worry about trying to enhance them through the crafting table, or because the way I see it, this one, there's not even an option. If you look, like, underneath the weapon mods, there's not even an option to enhance this piece of gear. So, and normally with enhancements, it's shown that in the past, like, if you have a crafted piece of gear, you can go into that crafted piece of gear and level it up, and that's how you get these enhanced perks and everything. So to me, the tier 5 stuff is replacing just, oh, you get the gear, you use materials to enhance it. I think that that's actually a lot better and a better way of going with it, where it's like, now there's a drive to do these activities to get the better gear without having just, oh, I get the gear that I want, and then I can just spend the materials to enhance it. Now I'm actually pushing myself to actually do the activity. I like that a lot. I think that's a great way to go for it, personally. Then this is another thing I want to bring into. The fact that we got basically the entire year of prophecy, like the calendar. So, you know, we got Edge of Fate expansion starting on July 15th. Then we have the Ash and Iron updates coming in September. Now, the major updates so with each of these expansions, so you got the expansion 1, which is Edge of Fate, expansion 2, which is Renegades. And as we can see, each expansion is going to include new stories, new locations, new missions, new weapons, gear, a new raid, and a new dungeon with that. As well. But it looks like the new raid is technically coming in Edge of Fate. The new dungeon is going to be in Renegades. So that's okay. With every major update, like Ash and Iron or Shadow and Order coming in Renegades, we get new and reprised activities, new sandbox meta updates, new events, new modifiers and challenges, and new gear and artifact mods. And then when it comes to Reward Pass, which it looks like we're getting potentially either the Reward Pass will be extending in each one, like as we can see each little boost here. We either get a totally new Reward Pass or just more levels to the existing Reward Pass. Obviously, we get exotic weapons and ornaments, legendary weapons, and ornament mods, cosmetics, and obviously a whole bunch more, which is going to be really, really cool. And the fact that they did tease that coming in Ash and Iron, that update coming in September, that we're going to be returning to the Plague Lands is going to be awesome. And, you know, they did tease the fact that where is it here? The fact that obviously we got the heavy metal, I believe that's what it was called. Yeah, heavy metal 3v3 PvP mode starts Friday. I will definitely be checking that out. That looks very, very cool. I do love, and I also love the fact that they're including this shooting range. I know that's maybe something that a lot of people don't think about, but I think the fact that with the shooting range, they are giving us a place where we can, you know, test our builds, test an ability to figure out where damage types go, rather than just going into the public area and having, like, you know, trying to set a condition. Now you can select specific enemies. You know exactly how your damage is going to be before you send it out into the field. I think that's very, very cool. I also like the fact that they are making updates to events and stuff, like, again, quality of life stuff, like with the new weapons, how the event-specific weapons are going to have foil overs that are going to make them unique and look cool. I like that, you know, changing those little things. I do hope that they actually do make, like, interesting updates and changes to the weapons and stuff like that, but that is for a different time. Obviously, you know, you can't ask for everything all in one basket. I get it. And then the fact that Renegades, again, is going to be like a whole Star Wars inspired season. Going to be very excited for that. So yeah, guys, I'm just very excited for this. Cannot wait to play it. But that's going to be for obviously in a couple months, because right now I'm going to be jumping right into Destiny. If you guys are seeing this, made it all the way to the end of the video portion, to the video, thank you guys. If you guys did make it all the way here, please make sure you leave that like button, subscribe if you aren't already. Leave the comment, hashtag full watch down in the comment section, so that way I'll make sure to give you guys a shout out. But if you guys are finishing watching this video, please head over to my Kick channel over on kick.com/theauthority, which will be linked in the description of this video and every single one of my videos. Might be live right now. If you guys are joining right now, might be live playing some Ride of the Nine. But without further ado, I'm going to jump off this and get right into it, guys. So I will see you there. Peace out.